Good morning. We conducted a two-night undercover prostitution sting this weekend. And as we investigate certain crimes in the city of Clinton, information is learned through these investigations that lead us down another path into avenues we need to look at to ensure that other crimes are not being committed in the city of Clinton. And if they are, we're going to take a strong, proactive stance to shut those crimes down immediately. So, I must say that we do not have a prostitution problem in the city of Clinton, as in moving around, traversing the city of Clinton and seeing people out on the streets or the corners or anything. That's not where this investigation led us to. This is an ad that's posted online. Services, fees, and locations are agreed upon, and then the offenders, in this instant, Clinton was the jurisdiction, and the offenders traveled to Clinton and completed the crime. In this instance, or this weekend, we arrested 17 persons. 8 of those are for felonies. The rest were misdemeanor crimes. The felonies are charged as promoting prostitution. So if somebody assists someone with getting here or enabling a person to complete these crimes we're talking, that's a promoting prostitution crime, and that's your felony charge. In these instances, a couple of people were found to be in the possession of controlled narcotics. So we have a couple of arrests there. It's really unfortunate that we are here today and 17 people were arrested. I wish we hadn't arrested anyone, but we're going to do all we can do to ensure that criminal activity is not going to transpire in the city of Clinton.
Chief, can you speak to Dr. Bynum, the JSU president, and Ms. Shonda, the JSU professor, and how they were arrested and the details surrounding that?
They were arrested during their operation of this operation. They were arrested. Was
it an undercover person who had infiltrated or set this up, or did you happen upon them? Can you provide any details like that?
Yeah, that's an ongoing investigation. As everybody that was arrested in this operation, an ad was online, and they saw that ad, they called and set this up with our undercover officers. So that's to the extent I can answer that question.
Where did this take place?
The Fairfield Inn in Clinton, off Hampstead Boulevard. That was the agreed upon location.
Has this been going on for a while, in the sense that you became aware of it within the past couple of weeks, past couple of months? I would imagine it takes time to build an operation like this.
It does, and this is our second operation in probably the last 6 months. So it's not something that we specifically look into all the time, but occasionally there's information, as I said a few minutes ago, that in certain investigations we learn a little bit of other information, and it leads us to take a look into this.
Does it fall into the category of human trafficking?
Well, as we go through this operation, we're really looking very closely into every circumstance of every incident, because we have been trained on human trafficking. We're looking for that type stuff, and we have resources out there that were on standby, ready to go if we uncovered anything that remotely resembled human trafficking. And fortunately, we didn't. That's where all this stems from. Really and truly is we're trying to cut down on human trafficking, but this is not a human trafficking operation. This is a prostitution operation that, little bits of information from other investigations led us to here.
Bynum was charged with false statement of identity. Did he try to cover his identity?
The charge would indicate that, correct?
Chief, can you provide any details what Dr. Bynum said when you guys first approached him?
No, it's ongoing. You know, still, even though the arrest is made, it's still an ongoing investigation, parts of it, so no, I can't.
17 sounds like a lot of people. Were they all at the Fairfield?
Yes, so over 2 days, and you know, they didn't all happen at once. These are, you know, agreed upon times, locations, services, fees, the whole 9 yards. Yes, over 2 evenings, 17 people were arrested who came to for prostitution-related purposes. So, you know, we in the release that you had earlier, there were 2 males and 2 females that were out of Memphis, Tennessee, and our evidence indicates that they were en route to Atlanta, and we suspect, based on evidence recovered and statements obtained, that these 4 people may be part of a larger scaled, multi-state ring. We don't know that for certain. We're looking into it, and that's one part of our investigation. We'll look into them very closely. So they had extensive criminal histories, and you know, that's the type criminal that we need to shut down.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, forgive me. You said a multi-state ring. That sounds to me like they were going to different states to promote prostitution. Can you expand on that, please?
Well, it's that we believe that that's exactly what they may be doing. They may be traveling from Memphis to Atlanta, and they just happen to come down 55 and stop in Clinton, maybe because of the online ad they saw. I don't know. But they're arrested, and hopefully we can delve deeper into their backgrounds and figure it out, and we have them charged accordingly.
Could you tell us when Dr. Bynum was arrested, and did he make bond? Is he still here? Talk to me a little bit about that.
It's my understanding that he was arrested. He was booked into the Clinton Police Department and bonded out shortly thereafter.
What was that bond?
I don't have it in front of me
Was
right
this
now.
Friday night, Saturday night?
It would have been Saturday night into Sunday morning, early hours of Sunday morning.
He tried to convince police he was somebody else.
Without getting into particulars, yes, he was charged with that, providing false identity.
Can you tell me, Chief, and I understand you're trying to be guarded on an ongoing investigation. Was it your undercover person who had arranged to allegedly meet Dr. Bynum and Shonda?
That would be correct. You know, there's ads online for these type services, and yes, it would have been one of our officers.
Do we know if they have a court date scheduled anytime soon?
Don't
I understand. And you don't know the bond amount when we get that later, I assume?
we get that.
Yes, sir.
All right, any more questions?
Can we move to the fire? I want to make sure
Thank
everybody's clear. I don't want to introduce them. Good.
Well, we had a tragic situation this weekend in Clinton. We don't have all the details yet. Again, this is currently under investigation, but it is a sad situation. We've had a great outpouring of grief in our community. I've had people from across the country sending emails in to express their grief. There has been a GoFundMe site set up by the family that's being held, and people are asking for contributions to help them in this very, very awful time that they're going through. The city sends out its greatest amounts of grief and condolences that it can. It's just one of these terrible tragedies that happens, and you know, you sometimes you wonder about it, but at the end of the day, it just happens, and all you can do now is console the family and be there for them.
Can you shed any light on the timeline for the investigation and the reports about the cause and details of it?
Not at this time. Our fire chief and the fire investigators are still there going over the matter. We will have a press conference when we have everything together to bring everybody back in so we can tell it to you, but I'd rather wait and do it at the same time so that we don't get false information out there or different stories out there. But it is an ongoing investigation, and when we have enough to tell you about, we will bring y'all back in and do that.
I'm not trying to push too hard. The fire hydrant question has been answered though, is that there was a fire hydrant in the neighborhood that was covered with a bag. It's my understanding that fire hydrant was operational.
Yes.
Can you talk about that, please?
It was operational. They went out yesterday afternoon and opened it up, and it ran fine. I don't know where the orange bag came from. But that particular fire hydrant was not needed. There was another hydrant that they used. I don't know that the fire department was aware of that fire hydrant and an orange bag over it until after the fire had already occurred. So, but there was no issue there. We have a regular schedule that we check our fire hydrants with, and they, let them flow water, and there was no issue there. We just don't know where the orange bag came from.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Can you get that? Can you go over that bond amount?
Yeah.
Bond court dates.
Would court have it?
Yeah.
And if you could get them to go fund me address.
One second.
Yeah, they all have it.
Oh, they all have it?
They all have it.